What's good, sneaker community? Regular guy Sneakerhead here with another review today. It's been a crazy month. Nothing but heat dropping, heat steady dropping, more heat fixing to drop. Been a lot of reviews coming from your guy. I'm sure everybody's been hitting you left and right with reviews. And yep, I got another one for you today. We're going to talk about these Air Jordan 10 women's chalk and hydrangea. Now, you know, if you've watched any of my other reviews, then you know that normally I like to give you more than just the average stuff. I don't want to just tell you about the colorway and release date and price and yada, 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 what you hear in the average videos from other people. I like to give you backstory, facts about the shoe that you may or may not know. And unfortunately, it's not a lot I can tell you about this pair. I mean, it's just a women's release, a nice colorway. There used to be a women's release back in the day that was similar. The Air Jordan Women's Violet. Another dope pair. Wish they would have brought it back too, but this is cool. I like this. Um, but since I can't tell you a whole lot about this shoe in particular, I figured I'd give you a complete breakdown on the Air Jordan 10 itself. So, the original Air Jordan 10 first made its debut in 1994. It was the second model to release during MJ's first retirement while he was away playing baseball. Yeah, second one to release while he wasn't on the court. Nike wasn't feeling it either. They really didn't like releasing shoes for somebody who's no longer playing basketball. Why are we putting out a basketball sneaker for a baseball player, But fortunately for us, thankfully for us, they did. Um, the very first colorway to drop was the Air Jordan 10 Steel. Yep, the Air Jordan 10 Steel. And it featured the now infamous toe cap. As you see, this is the toe cap that we're talking about. Now, this is not the original pair from 94. They did re-release these with the toe cap last year, 2025. They re-released the Air Jordan 10 Steel with the toe cap. But that is the toe cap they're talking about. And I just wanted to show you guys what it was. Mike didn't like it, so he wanted it removed. The problem was that pair was already sent out to be released. So they couldn't stop that pair from coming out with the toe cap, and they did. The next pair to come out, the Shadow pair, didn't have the toe cap. There were only three colorways originally released in 94: the Steel, the Shadow, and then the Powder Blue pair. Now, later in 95, they decided to go ahead and release the first ever Air Jordan 10 City Pack with 5 different colorways to represent the 5 different cities in the City Pack. Those cities were Chicago, Orlando, Sacramento, Seattle, and New York. And of course, they had colorways to go with each one of the cities based off what their team was. And that was the first City Pack. We've had the City Pack come back since then, a few years back, but that was the original one. The 10, just like its predecessors from 3 to 9, was designed by Tinker Hatfield. Now, since it was the 10th installment in the Air Jordan line, he wanted to treat it as an homage and craft it as a tribute to MJ's remarkable career. Hatfield had to be way more creative on the design process on the Air Jordan 10 because he didn't have MJ around for his input, and he also didn't have MJ's on-court needs to center the design process around since MJ wasn't on court. He was playing baseball. The first time Mike ever actually wore the 10 on court, it was the Air Jordan 10 Steel. And this occurred at a charity event while he was still retired, hosted by Scottie Pippen in September of 94. And this actually ended up being Mike's last time playing in that Chicago stadium before it was demolished and replaced by the United Center. Finally, in March 1995, Mike announced his return from retirement with a fax with only 2 words on it. It said, "I'm back." And in 2017, they actually released the Air Jordan 10 I'm Back to celebrate that moment. And it released, if I'm not mistaken, on the exact day that he announced his return. It was a white, mostly white with black pair. And I actually used to have them, but I ended up selling them. They were yellowing real bad. I'll pull them up so you can see which one I'm talking about. But in the box, the paper actually was black, and with red letters, it said, "I'm back" on it. I thought that was a nice little touch, and a nice little way to commemorate his first return to the game. Now, the Chicago colorway ended up being the first one that Mike actually wore on court in the first game of his return. It featured a 45 on it, though, instead of the usual 23, due to his number 23 jersey being retired. Now, we all know later on they ended up unretiring it so he could wear it again. The GOAT went on to make 55 points in the Air Jordan 10 Chicago on his first day back, March 28th, 1995, in the Air Jordan 10 Chicago. Yep. And since then, the Air Jordan 10 Chicago and that game have been commonly referred to as the double nickel. The Air Jordan 10 served as a bridge between MJ's legacy and his return to the game. Now, without further ado, let's get into the shoe. You see the lid. This is the traditional box that Jordans 7 through 11 come in, unless they're a special pair. Regular old box. These came from Hibbett. I hit on the ship to me option instead of the pick up in store raffle. And it's crazy because Hibbett only had up to the normal sizes in women's pair, women 12, which is a 10 and a half. And I could fit it. I'm not complaining. But had I waited and then got them off of sneakers on Saturday, I could have got my men's size 11, which is a women's 12 and a half. But either way, I got them. You see the inside of the lid. I had some people earlier asking if they had any stamps on them or anything in the lid. Man, that might have been another pair. But anyway, there's no stamps on the lid of these. Got that regular little sticker on the inside. And there you see the Air Jordan 10 women's chalk and hydrangeas. It's a nice pair, man. I was glad I was able to get my hands on it. For real. Wish they would have thrown in sail colored, chalk colored extra laces too. That would have been a nice little touch. Or some white laces maybe, but it's cool. I've only got 3 pairs of 10s. The ones that I just got, the hydrangeas, the steel 10s with the toe cap that I showed you earlier, and then the Soulfly 10s. These are a nice pair too, and these actually came with a set of white laces, so I might try throwing them in these here and see how that looks. See how it turns out with those white laces. Even though these are like an off-white sail color, I want to see if it's going to look okay with the white laces in it, maybe. If not, I'll stick with these hydrangea or lavender or purple color laces, whatever you want to call it. But it is suede on that lavender, on that tongue and everything. Everything like normal on a regular Jordan 10 release, nothing fancy or special. And then I like how they got that one little grape strip through there and the grape jump, man, that little hit of grape on the bottom. I wish they could have found a way to incorporate a little splash of it in the shoe, maybe right in here or down here or something, but it's cool. It turned out decent. Now, if you've ever seen an Air Jordan 10, you know there's some things down here on the bottom of the shoe. And what it is his accolades up into this shoe. And you see it has 82 or 85 Rookie of the Year, uh, 86, 63 points, 87 scoring title, 88 dunk champ, 89 all defense, 90 scored 69 points. Back just to go back to that 88 dunk champ right quick. That happened in the Air Jordan 3 white cement, and that's when he did the now famous free throw line dunk. Anyway, back to it. We had 91 MVP and championship. Yeah, 92 MVP and championship, 93 MVP and championship, and then you see 94 beyond. That's because 94 he's retired. When these came out, he's retired. And so it was beyond the game of basketball, what's going to happen next. And just a little side note, it doesn't really concern the Air Jordan 10, but it does concern the Air Jordan 11. Originally, when Tinker was designing the Air Jordan 11, he wanted to call it the Air Jordan Beyond. He was having a hard time, man, with Nike getting him to keep making these shoes for Mike while he's retired. And, you know, he always knew that he was going to come back to the game. Tinker always knew in his heart Mike would come back. So he wanted to keep making shoes. And he was trying to pitch the Beyond concept to Nike to get him to keep making them because he knew that. But we all know what happened. They kept making them, and then Mike came back in the 10, and then bam, hit us with the 11 and 3 more championships, another three-peat. It's a wrap. So there you have it. That's my review on the Air Jordan 10 Chalk and Hydrangeas women's and my breakdown of the Air Jordan 10. A little sneaker education for you guys. I appreciate you for tuning in as always. Please make sure you hit all the right buttons. Share this with people. Tell people to come watch, repost, whatever you got to do. Follow, like, comment, all that. All that helps get it out. The more likes and views and stuff I get, the better my channels do, the more content I'll bring to you guys. And if you like it, that's what I need you to do for me, please. And if it's anything you want to see or anything you'd like to see me do differently, man, let me know. Man, I'm cool with a little bit of criticism, with a little bit of feedback. You know what I mean? As long as it's respectful, you know what I mean? I'm doing this for y'all. I do it for me because I love it, but I'm doing it for y'all. Y'all the ones watching, so let your boy know. Engage. Let's talk about it.